Hey, howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast. This is like episode 424, the post-game show, live post-game show, first one of the season. Welcome, everybody, to the chat, the show, the whole thing. I am your dashing host, Chris, and with me is the effervescent, glorious, and wonderful brains behind the operation, Ash, the Ash Man Thompson. How you doing, brother? He's the boss of the Slack.
Thought we had a third person on with all those nice things you said.
He's the boss of the Slack for those that don't know, but it's all that good stuff. We got a lot going on today. We're going to talk about the game, and this game was probably 3 games in the course of 60 minutes.
One guy in our Slack put it perfectly. He's like, Jared Goff has had his entire 2021 season in one game today.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Tale of two halves, man.
Yeah. We'll do a roundtable discussion, and we will take your calls. We got a whole lot going on. We'll get the press conference as well with the Lions, with Coach Campbell. As soon as that comes up, I'll be kind of watching it kind of unfold here in the background while we go. Great show lined up. Ash, are you ready to go, my man?
100%. Let's get it on.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
All right. Good. Here we are. First game of the season, man. I'm so happy. I'm a bit torn because my boy is actually going to be driving back to school while I do this show, so I had to say goodbye before we started and all the other stuff. So I'm torn there.
So
but
you're saying I'm carrying your butt today?
It won't be the first time. Oh man, we got this. All right, so great to be back in football, man. I am so excited to have the NFL going. Joy, happy joy. How you feeling, bro?
Yeah, I'm so excited about this that like I was still hyped at halftime despite what we watched. It's like, yeah, only down 2 scores.
What a game. What an incredible game. It was something. I have to do something. The screen's going to go black here. Ash, just quick, give us a rundown. We're getting asked about timeouts and clock management. While I do this, and the screen's going to go back black, but you'll still hear Ash. Ash, if you would, just talk about like when we should have called that timeout at about 2:07 before the 2-minute warning, some of that stuff. Help us out with that while I do this little thing.
I'm just curious if everyone else can hear the Detroit Lions hold music. I'm definitely getting that through my speakers. That's a pretty cool soundtrack for me talking, I guess. Oh, no, that's my end. Okay, good.
Got it.
All right.
Got it. Well, okay. Thanks.
I'm gonna kill that on my end.
You had me scared.
Riveting audio content right now. Yeah, so this game, man, it everything you think about week 1 is what we got here. It's 100% like believe nothing, draw no conclusions. We saw everything from Jared Goff. Like in the first half, he couldn't complete a pass longer than 2 yards. There was no Lions
Let's
receiver
kick this off.
who had 10 yards receiving at that point. We're a professional show, folks. 100%.
It's the first one of the season. Season. Sorry.
Yeah, I literally haven't been on for the entire offseason, so all sorts of glitches involved in this thing. So basically, like at halftime, there was not a single Lions receiver that had 10 yards receiving. And of the 4 who had catches, 2 of them had negative yardage. If you're looking for a reason that the Lions lost this game, you could draw a pretty clear thing to say that maybe they needed more live reps in games.
Really quick, we had a chance there at the end. We couldn't close it out. And, I think really the tell of the day was, the damage was done a little bit in the first half. We tried to fight our way back. But the third down, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense hurt us, and then we spotted them 7 on offense, and we just couldn't fight our way back from it. So we got to clean a lot up.
Some of the things that you wanted to see going into this game and how it eventually played out. Where are there points where you're pleased, and what do you think you guys failed to execute as far as from an offensive standpoint?
Well, look. Offensively, here was really the day was this. If we could stay on the field, if we can convert a first down, we're probably going to do pretty good. And so there again, it was those times we stalled out. We go 3 and out, or they're late in the game, in the fourth quarter. man, we're in a third down and third and manageable, and then we get a low snap and some bad stuff happens, and now you're forced to punt it. You're really not in a good position to go for it. At least I didn't feel that way. So, man, just some self-inflicted wounds there. Now, look, I thought we came out in the second half and did a much better job. We were much more efficient. We were able to take some shots because we could stay on the field and get some rhythm. I thought Swift had an outstanding day, and those guys up front did a good job. I mean, I thought the O-line played well. They banked a lot of reps, and I thought they did a good job. But there again, offensively, early in that game, third down, and then when you turn the ball over, and not only turn it over, but it ends up being for 7, it's hard,
You talked the other day about, just replacing those self-inflicted wounds of more games are lost earlier in the season.
Yep.
You feel like you overcame some of those mistakes in that first drive, right? 2 penalties and a drop pass, but you couldn't really a large portion of the game.
Yeah, I think that was I do, because I think about what mistakes did they make. They really didn't. I mean, they played well, and they executed well. We struggled with our quarterback. Hurt us. So he's a good player. But we got to be able to respond to those things. And then just, man, you want to know there at the end of that game, we got a chance. It's fourth down. We close it out. You got that ball with about a minute left, no timeouts to get in position to win it, and you like those odds. So, I was proud that we fought our way back, but we got a lot to clean up.
You knew Hurts would be difficult, of course, but did you think your defense would handle him a little bit better than it did?
Yeah, I did. And, we had a lot of, I'm almost in position, I got a hand, and we just couldn't close it out. So, look, I think we'll be better for that. You face a guy like that, and, look, there was a number of guys out there. It's first game of the season. It's a full game. Now you're into real tempo, real NFL tempo against real dudes. And I think it got on some guys, but they'll all be better for it. Everybody will be better. And we'll be in a little better shape, too, after 1 week.
Here, Ryan, work out.
These nuts? Yeah, I mean, it was certainly it's tough, but I think, look, I kind of think of it, man. We just need to get ourselves back in position to don't let this thing get out of hand to where you don't have a chance in the fourth quarter. And so, of course, I don't like that. I don't want it to happen. But yet, man, I'm thinking the long game. And as long as we just keep fighting in there, you never know what's going to happen. I felt like we were going to get a turnover in any minute and, to balance the scales back out, and it didn't happen today. But that's we got to get some of those. When we make a mistake, we got to find a way to make them, do the same thing, give us something back. And we didn't do that today.
Can you explain the clock management there at the end of that?
Ooh, here it is.
You guys ran that play instead of taking it to the 2-minute warning, and then you took a couple timeouts.
Yeah, look, the one offensively was we finally got in a rhythm, and I didn't want to lose that rhythm going to a 2-minute. Now, you can judge it however you want, but that was me. I'm like, look, he's up there. We're moving a little bit here, so let's go. And that was just my mindset on it. And it would have been easy enough to do it, but that's kind of how I felt. What was the other question?
The timeouts.
When our defense was out there, after the long sack, where it was, second 17 or something? Yeah, I wanted the ball back. So I had faith in my defense. And so I'm like, well, we got them pinned back here. Let's use the timeout. We'll get it back to our O.
What's your message to the team, I guess, after this? I mean, really close loss. Obviously, you've got a history of, just to not let players fall into the mindset of letting this bleed over to the season, kind of like set the tone for the season. Like, what is your message to the team?
Yeah, look, I just told them, look, they already know. I mean, they understand. I mean, it hurts more for them than it does anybody. I mean, and we were this close, and so it's really like, look, man, this is game one, and we got a long season here. And I said the good news is that we didn't play very well, and we lost by 3. That's what you can take away from this. Now, if we just take this whole approach where every week it's like, well, we play, we lost by 3. Well, we lost by 3. We lost by 3. Then what are we doing? So we got to clean this up, and we got to be better. We got to be a lot better in all areas.
Dan, it felt like a familiar theme with Jared in the first half, and then
Yeah, look, the intention, we liked what we had in for these guys. We liked the game plan, and but some of this stuff, to get it downfield, you got to set it up a little bit, and it's hard to do that, particularly in the first half when you can't stay on the field to set up the routes you want to double move or And so we were able to do a little bit more, as it got late or in the second half, and take advantage of that, or much better anyway.
You talk about playing up to the line, the red line. You have two of your captains commit penalties on touchdown drives.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Well, it's not good. Look, I don't know. I did not see Alex's and Tracy's. Now I know Tracy got kicked out because of a second penalty, all right, which is unacceptable, and he knows that. It's not okay. And that's not what we're looking for, because that's how you get beat. Those guys know that.
It's a bullshit penalty, though.
Just your thoughts on the
Don't give him the excuse.
Doesn't get called anywhere else.
So I wanted the ball back.
It looked like Ben Johnson called plays. Did he call all the plays? Just why?
Yeah, he did a good job. I thought he did a good job.
Did any of what happened in the first half offensively, where you say freezing out, have anything to do with Jared not playing a lot in the preseason and rust and stuff like that?
No, I mean, look, there was a couple of hiccups there, but that was a little bit of everybody. And as you know, offensively, man, it only takes one guy to derail everything you're doing. Defense, a guy can go out there and one guy can wreck a game for the opponent. But offense, one guy is not doing what he's supposed to do, and man, everything gets out of sync. So everybody kind of had a hand in that one.
What happened with Akuda at the end of the first half?
What happened with him?
He left the game. I don't know if it was
Oh, we were just being smart with reps. We just got him back. He's in a good place. We were just trying to, let's monitor a little bit and not overdo it, but yet certainly get him his plays. So we're trying to work a couple of guys that way to be smart.
How did you feel Hutchinson played for his first game?
Listen, he'll be better next week. All right, he needed this, and they all needed it. And most rookies, that's the way it goes. You get into your first game, and it's just a little different. And look, I got to watch the tape, but I know that he'll be better next week than he is this week, and so will Rodriguez, and so will all those rookies. So will Kirby. So that's just nature of the game.
You mentioned Swift. Swift obviously had a really nice game. I mean, this is as good as I think we've seen. Just what do you think you have in him?
Look, Swift is one of those players that we have. We've got some good players, but Swift is he's a dynamic player for us, and he's the one guy that can take it anywhere. He can take the house from anywhere on the field, and I'm glad he's ours.
I know Hurts escapes and runs. Obviously, he's a very good player. But was that your defense being over-aggressive, being young,
No, look, I think there's no excuse for it. But when you haven't faced a guy like that, and now you're about to play, I don't even know how many plays that was, but you're getting a full game plan of that and reacting to that, and it got on us, and obviously I think we got to put that on us. I got to put it on me. We didn't have him prepared for him because he hurt us. I mean, you take away his rushing, and I mean we're probably sitting pretty good defensively, or much better, I should say.
All right. Thank you guys. Locker room's open.
Yep.
All right, there we go. Coach comes up with all the good stuff as always.
Yep.
I love it. I mean, he addressed really everything, including the clock management piece and the aggressiveness he has. I mean, that's the nature of the coach we have. Same with the
I'll take
onside
that
kick.
10 out of 10 times, man.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Oh yeah. So that's good. Let's really quick. Let's talk about DeAndre Swift, and I'm going to throw the phone number out so folks can join can call in if they like as well. 248-782-8384. 248-782-8384 will get you into the phone call, and we'll bring you on. You can also use Detroit Lions Podcast, which is all one word, and you can use that via Skype to get to us. All right. And we've got a call already, so let's just get right to it. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink?
Hey, Chris, it's Kenyon.
Hey, how you doing, Kenyon?
Pretty good. Haven't had too much to drink. Just actually one beer, or no, 2 beers.
Yeah, all right. How the Rams do?
Yeah, it wasn't good, but
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
that's all right.
What do you got for us, bro?
No, I just tuned into the show, so hopefully you just didn't get covered already. I was just going to say, overall, we expected to lose this game, so in that sense, it was pretty good. I'm not really in. I had fun this game, which I hadn't really had for a while, so that was good. But I'm kind of in a no moral victories stage of my life, so in that sense, it could be better because when I look at it, there were times in this game where the offense disappeared. Jared Goff started like 3 or 4 for 6 yards, and then there's times where the defense just really wasn't competent at all. So I feel like we still haven't seen this team put together a complete game. Once they do, I think they can be really good. But just that effort alone, it has to continue throughout the whole time. It can't just show back up at the end once they gave up, kind of reminiscent of that 49ers game last year in week 1 where we thought maybe it would be okay after giving up that huge lead, and then they kind of stopped. I almost wonder if Philly stopped a little bit, but certainly an encouraging performance nonetheless.
Yeah, this was a matchup nightmare for the Lions. I think that's the big part. This is one of the worst teams we're facing all season, and we lost by 3 points. There's a lot that to break down within the game itself, but in the end, that scoreboard says we lost by 3 points to a team that has as much a chance as anybody in their division and the conference to make a Super Bowl. I expect that they're going to make a playoff run this year. This is, like I said, like you say, fine. There's no moral victories, and I agree, but they beat us by 39 points last year. If you don't think that there's a change in talent and the quality of the play calls and et cetera down the line, then you haven't watched the Lions, right? And this is a loss. You're 0-1 to start. But if this is a loss that feels a lot better than the Philly game last year.
Yeah, we can't
exactly.
say that they deserve
quite a few
to win this
mixed emotions on it, but it was a fun game. I feel like I saw some good things, some things that need to be cleaned up a little bit, but things I think can be cleaned up. So in that sense, I'm pretty happy with it, I think, and I don't think Dan Campbell's happy with it, which also gives me some relief. But should be good moving forward.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all I got. I'll get back to listening and let somebody else get on.
All right. Thanks, Kenyon. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, like Amon-Ra St. Brown's not going to drop 32 passes this year.
Do you think there's something about how Goff is throwing the ball?
like it's just too damn catchable?
Right. Like no one's used to that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say that throwing the ball super hard when the receiver's 5 yards away from you was a good idea, but that probably was a little bit overblown with Matthew Stafford. The Rams have not had drop issues.
Yep.
So maybe just we needed better receivers at that point. And there's been a lot of people saying, imagine Matthew Stafford in charge of this offense. And honestly, in the first half, some of that play calling was not great.
Yeah.
Let's say, there was a lot of stuff where I was kind of going did we rehire Anthony Lynn? What is happening here? We've gone away. Things were working, and then we stopped doing those things and went on to do something else. It wasn't just keep punching him in the face until he stops you from punching him in the face. It was this punching in the face is working too well. I guess maybe we should try slapping a little.
Yeah, a little slap fight. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink?
Hey, it's Grant. Too many. How you guys doing?
Really well. Grant for the Kool-Aid, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and as a proud member of Goff as the guy, I just wanted to call in and root for my guy here. Freaking 4 TDs after the pick 6, played like crap in the first half. But you know what? Goff's got freaking grit, man. He came in, threw, led the offense down, scored some points, and then Okuda is also I want to shout out.
Yeah.
He, we got some guys here. I think it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
The first game, everyone told me in the Slack we're going to suck and we're not going to beat the Eagles, but somehow we bring them down to the 3 points. So anyway,
and it was fun to watch.
Love to hear you guys' points on those two. Oh, dude, I'm freaking screaming. Everyone's wondering. My wife's wondering, when am I going to get my husband back? I'm like, I got to call him first. Just relax, okay?
19 weeks, sweetie. 19 weeks.
This right now, but she's wonderful. Anyway, thanks, guys. Love it. Love to hear about Goff and Okuda, and I'll hang up here and go from there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Grant. Have a good one, brother.
Yeah, like Goff, man, it's crazy. Like he was as bad in the first half as I have ever seen a quarterback be. Like
What was it?
He was like
9
3
yards
for 9 completions, and he had 56 yards at halftime. Like, to put that in context, they gave the ball to DeAndre Swift 8 times, and he had 92.
So one thing, and there were some, I've seen too many drops, too many whiffs, that kind of stuff. Think about if you are the Philadelphia Eagles. We scored 28 points in the second half. Think of how many blocks and whiffs that they should be cursing on. Yeah, they walked away with a win, but we did a hell of a lot of damage to that team in the second half. And the adjustments, the way they're looking, they approach that, the grit, all the things we're talking about, the complete turnaround that Goff had not given up, right? Goff was the guy, and he came back and gave it 110%. All kinds of drops from the wide receivers not helping him. You think about, the mental, the headspace of a quarterback when people, you have a tough start. Now they're dropping your balls like crazy. And
these nuts.
It's just way too easy to give up in a place like that. And they didn't. And Goff didn't. And he had a heck of a second half despite the what happened. Opportunities here, opportunities abound. Frankly, this team could have beat those Philadelphia Eagles. They could have done it.
Oh, absolutely.
And they could have done it
little
soundly.
things.
Yeah,
a couple little things from coaches and players. I mean, like, if the defense you called has Will Harris in one-on-one coverage deep against AJ Brown, you called a bad defense. Like, that's not on Will Harris for not being able to pull that one off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that is one of the 5 best wide receivers in the NFL against a guy who's in his first year playing corner. You can't. That can't happen. You know what I mean? Like, and I know they're blitzing and trying to get pressure, and that leaves the corner out there, but like, not that corner on that guy, or you made a mistake. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of little stuff like that, where as the year goes, they're going to figure out who can and will be successful.
Yep.
If that makes sense in certain situations. And right now they're just still kind of throwing it against the wall and seeing what sticks. And like that first half, like the defense came out on fire.
Yep.
I did not expect that in any way, shape, or form. And yes, by the time halftime hit, they had given up 3 touchdowns.
Well, they gave up 2. The defense gave up 2.
Give them credit for half a game. Ooh. You know what I mean? Because like they didn't get through the whole half.
Well, one of them was a pick 6 though, and they only gave up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
really,
that's true. That's true. I'm penalizing them for that. 1
being scored. And just everything, the whole narrative in the offseason and color. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. I got you here, but the whole narrative of the offseason was that this is a team with no defense, and the offense is going to have to carry the day. And it was 180 degrees from that in the first half today. So let me get to
Jared Goff didn't give up 38 points.
No. Let me get to, he gave up 6 of them. Let me get to the, at that point, sorry, I have to do this. At that point, their defense had more yards than our, receiving yards than our entire offense together did. That was nuts. All right. Jameson Hesse, thank you for the super chat. On the 4th and 1 at the end of the game, if Hurt wasn't down because he was on those O-line bodies, then the Lions stripped the ball immediately after he extended it, and it was the Lions' ball. They're going to say forward progress was stopped there. That one never wins.
Every time.
It's no good. So that's what happened, and that's where I go. But thank you, Jameson. Love you. Thanks for coming to the party, and thanks for that super chat. Also, Loretto, how you doing, bro? More ref BS, and it's just always us. At least 3 intentional groundings and so much more. Why are refs always a thing when the Lions play? Hurts has that shit on lock, man. There was one I think that was super questionable, but otherwise he knows what he's doing, and he's Aaron Rodgers level. Fucking right inside the rules barely kind of stuff. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, like the first one, it was 2 yards short when it went out of bounds, but where it lands is what matters. And by the time it hit the ground, it was at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. And the one, yes, there was a receiver in the backfield blocking. That's why that wasn't intentional grounding. The guy was 3 yards away from where the ball hit.
Yep.
So it's like spirit of the rule, complete garbage. But by the letter of the law, though, those 2 at least were not intentional grounding. I don't remember the third off the top of my head.
Yep. All right, caller, I've been held you on line here. How you doing? How much you had to drink, and what's your name?
Hey, Chris Ash, long time, first time. Drink about 3 tequilas.
Nice.
Nice. What was your last question?
What's your name and how much you had to drink?
Michael, 3 tequilas, like I said. So I do have a question for you guys. I know MCDC said in the press conference he called that timeout at the end of the half because he wants the ball back. I'm just not I'm just not getting some of his clock management at this point. I mean, he had that. He called that timeout at the beginning of the second half, and that kind of ruined us having 3 timeouts at the end there, and then also that onside kick. There's something to be said about going into the half not being down 2 scores, and that's kind of where we ended up. Obviously, Will Harris on A.J. Brown did not help, but besides that, I'm questioning a little bit of the clock management here.
I guess on that timeout, the question I have is this: do you want him to play like his guys can't make the stop?
I'd say I want him to help
at that
them
point
with
we're
the
done.
clock.
You know what I mean? His whole thing is you can be successful. That is what that call says, is I am trusting you guys right now to make the stop and get us the ball back. Now, if you want to get on the players for not making the stop and not getting the ball back, I'd say that's a lot more questionable than calling that timeout. That's just me. Like, the guys didn't get it done. You know what I mean? You have to call that timeout to try to get the ball back. The fact that your guys didn't make the stop there when they had actually been having a pretty good game up to that point is kind of like, the result sucks. You know what I mean? But the process, I think, to get to that result was correct.
It's an attacking process for sure, and it's just nonstop, relentless attack and
nonstop hip hop.
Jump around.
I mean,
go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but it's like the defense had allowed 24 points in that second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't exactly, they were kind of firing all cylinders. It seems the Eagles offense. So it just seems a little bit odd to me. I understand wanting to give your defense a chance out there, but we could have gone in with just being down by 7. Let's say, who knows? I mean, they could have still scored, but
yeah, then they probably would have. Honestly, like I don't think in the end that play mattered.
Okay.
But I personally would call that timeout every single time.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Just because of the sack.
All right.
Like, specifically because of the sack. You know what I mean? Like, we get him on like second and a whole bunch.
Right.
Then there's your opportunity, right? Sure. You know what I mean? Like, just all the specifics of that. I think that was absolutely the right call.
Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink? Sorry.
What up, though? It's Mo from the Creek.
Mo from the Creek. How you doing, man?
Mo?
It's been a minute.
I know. Happy 2022 season.
I can't believe I was just sitting here before we started the show thinking to myself, this is our 8th season covering this. This is nuts, man. But it's never as good as when Mo from the Creek's around. What do you got, bro? What's going on today?
Oh, man.
No pressure.
I know. Well, I'm fixing my drink now. But I'm not too mad about the loss because previous Lions teams, we down 2 scores. I'm expecting a blowout in the second half. But the way these boys fought to get us back in 3, I was like, I know people don't like the moral victories, but I like this. This is a different team. This is. I think Aaron Glenn will be in their ass coming. Next week without the pick 6 and without the onside kick. I think we had a chance. So I can't blame Goff. He did get us down the field. We got 35 points. It's just, you're trying to draw up a game plan to hold Hurts. It's like running quarterbacks are a threat to any team, so that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare off jump. So I'm not too mad about this team. I think we're going to do good. It's a long season, and there will be 15 other teams starting 0-1. It's just a matter how we go through the season.
That's right. And
100%.
I mean, if everyone says I'm, drinking the Kool-Aid saying that I think this is a 7-win team this year, I have 7 to 9 wins. I'm really kind of locked on that 7 number, but we played a team that is supposed to destroy us today. That was an absolute matchup nightmare for our system. The way, the players, the whole thing. And we had a tough first half. There's no question about it. They scored a lot of points, but we kind of talked about that. We knew other teams were going to score points, and we knew that it was up to our offense to win the games for us this year. And the defense played better than I thought, because if you take away, someone's mentioned 14 points that Goff cost us. And I know the one pick 6, I can't. But if it's 14, I mean, now all of a sudden that's a winnable game, right? If your offense doesn't give up your points for you, it's interesting. It's interesting, and I'll have to go back and watch. But that's what this show's all about: is those first reactions. What's your gut for what you just saw, right?
Right. I think we have a competitive team. I don't think it's the Lions of old. Like when teams see us on the schedule, I don't think teams are just automatically putting a W by our name. Yeah. I think the league knows that we own something different right now.
Yeah. There's no question about it. It's. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better actually after this game about this team than I was before this game, even though we had a loss. If that makes sense.
Right. Yep. Right, because everybody, like you said, everybody got Philly going to the Super Bowl. Oh, they got the top offensive line. They got this defense. They, like you said, people was expecting like last year a 44-6 blowout again. But I think we kicked ass second half, and I think it's just gonna roll into the next game.
Yeah, for real. All right, hey Mo, we're gonna keep rolling. The phones are burning up, and I want to make sure we get everybody in. But thank you for calling in, man. I hope to talk to you every week.
Yes, sir.
All
Talk
right.
to you next week.
All right, we'll see you.
All right,
take
care.
See you, Mo. All right, Mo from the Creek. Got another one here. Let's see. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink? Hello, caller?
Hello?
There you are. What's your name and how much have you had to drink?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, it's Brian, and probably too much.
All right. That's what we love to hear.
Yeah. I haven't been listening the last couple of minutes because I've been trying to call in, but I'm not sure exactly what you're on topic-wise. But just wanted to call in and really just talk about the game, but also like the fans, man. Reading the comments on the subreddit, it's kind of infuriating. Not really. I really don't think people understand football. Like in the NFL, in my opinion, there's between 10 and 15 plays that make a good team, like separate a bad team from a good team during the game, because like on offense and defense. And some of the comments, like when the Eagles ran in that QB sneak, I think it was in the first quarter, maybe second, and someone posted like, "Oh, that's too easy." Like, yeah, that happens at every single NFL game throughout the day. Like, there are defenses that don't touch the quarterback on a QB sneak. And I feel like people don't manage their expectations with this team. There have been a lot of good things, obviously a lot of bad things too, with time management, all that stuff that we've been talking about. But man, we knew what this team was. So when we don't stop them on third down and we miss a tackle, like, yeah, that's one of the 15 plays during the game that separates a really good team from a bad team, and that's what you got to clean up. So with these people complaining about like our performance, everything that we knew was going to happen had happened, and I think even more so, like I think we did better than what we should have expected. I feel like the game was pretty good, but man, these fans and like they're nitpicking on certain like plays. Like they're putting a microscope on certain things that literally happens to every single team. The Super Bowl winners this year will have plays where the QB sneak against them and the defense doesn't touch them. That will happen. And I just don't understand how people watch football for 10, 15, 20 years and don't understand that, yeah, that's the fucking game.
Well,
excuse my language.
The fact, like, think about it. And this is the thing that none of the Lions fans, of the kind you're talking, are saying. The Lions hung 35 points on a really, really good Eagles defense. They played like crap.
They did.
Yeah.
Their defense played like crap, but nobody's going to say that, right? We're talking about drops and other stuff. We hung 35 points on that team. That's a lot of points. Didn't win, right?
Joe
There's still
Burrow
more to do.
personally turned the ball over 6 times today.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Every
Like, that
player
stuff will
in
happen.
the league has bad days. And honestly, Jared Goff threw for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception in the end. Yeah, like for a whole half, he sucked, but he was just as good in the second half as he was bad in the first half. Even in the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet in the universe, there were people in there going like every single time he didn't complete a pass, like it was the end of the world. Like Peyton Manning missed passes, man. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like 100% efficiency is not possible. Like there is no perpetual motion
One of the
machine in
biggest
football.
examples-
Like there are always going to be these plays. And I think 15 is too many, to be blunt. It's 4 or 5 plays in an entire game that determined the difference between a 3-score loss and a win. You know, like that's just football, man. That's the beauty of this game. That's why they call it a game of inches, because it just, like, on the tip of a spinning top is every single game in this league. Like, the phrase "any given Sunday," just it encapsulates the entire thing. Like, they were a moment away from winning this game, man. You know, like it's like one moment at any point in 4 quarters away from winning this game. Like, this is not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like, if this game makes you turn SOL because the season's over, like, just go away. Leave me alone. Don't go anywhere I go. Don't talk to any people I know. I don't want to hear about it.
And one of the biggest examples of people not realizing that the defense, any defense, is going to give up points. And reading the first quarter comments about our defense, people are like, "Oh, this defense is terrible." It's like, they're going to give up yards. They're going to give up points. That is what defense is. It will happen. You could be the number 1 defense in the NFL. You're going to get scored on. Like, I don't know what people are smoking, but, man, because I feel like, I mean, defense isn't right there where it needs to be. But that's because we know what it is. We know what players we have and all that stuff. But, man, like Rodrigo, he's showing out. And, you know, the defensive line, like, there's some issues. But, man, I feel like they did pretty good other than contain with the QB. Like, that stuff is what's going to be coached out, hopefully. Yeah. But that is what is going to happen with our team, because we're not going to the Super Bowl. That is what we are. I don't know. These fans, though, man, they frustrate me more than the Lions do. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, but you know, to carry the logic, to extend it, obviously last year's Super Bowl was a complete sham because both of those teams lost in the first week of the year. They weren't that good, right? That's the same. If you fall back to this SOL world, if you just look at this, it's any given Sunday is a real thing. Teams beat teams. There's things called upsets. That's why they play the games. You have a Lions team that just 2 years ago lost the only real player it had in Matthew Stafford on the roster, and was a complete tire fire in a dumpster. I mean, it was as bad as it could have been with Patricia leaving and so on. You've got the best of all worlds here with a team that's competing against teams that are going to make a deep run into the playoffs. And we're only going to get better. The thing about this team and the way they work is they're going to continue to improve and find out what works. And just like the changes you saw between the first and the second half this year, you're going to see more of that from game to game with this team. It's going to be, and I'll get to the point where I think next year's the year this team really makes a run. It gets a shot in the playoffs and starts doing their thing. I don't know that this year they get to the playoffs. So they do. I'll love that ride, but I know, if you're honest with yourself about where this team probably is and what we're doing and where we are in the rebuild, this is a lot of really fun football to watch. And you can, if you want, if you don't like it and it gets you down, there's plenty of film out there from the Patricia years. You can go watch that if that's your cup of tea. But this is a Lions team that, for the first time and as long as I can remember, has true proven upward trajectory. And then, again, you can walk away from a loss. If we lose to the Rams by a field goal last year in December, right? Do we take that away? I mean, everyone walked away from the victory in Green Bay. Well, we beat them in the first half. We beat their ones in the first half, right? Why is it that this loss, we can't look at it and say, wow, they beat us by 38 points last year, and this year they only beat us by 3. That's a real improvement. This team is heading in the right direction. That's just kind of where my head's at with it. So all kinds of ways.
Yeah, agreed, guys. And I'll let you go. One last point. You said, we're going to get better, and that's true, but I guarantee we're going to lose by more than 3 points at some point in the season too.
Yep.
Doesn't mean we're not getting better.
No.
People need to manage their expectations.
Yeah. I mean,
right,
thank you, man. Thanks for calling. You got to think, man, you look at the Rams. Are they completely done because that game on Thursday? Is it over for them because they lost by, what was it, a fucking million points? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, caller. Oh, wait. Sorry, I got to do this right if I want to do it. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Hey, caller. What's your name? How much have you had to drink? I've had 2. Hello, caller.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
I've had 5 years of the game, and that's now I'm over. Anyway, I put it in a super chat, but I forgot to actually enter my text before I hit send on the super chat. But I thought today most encouraging thing I saw was DeAndre Swift's playmaking ability. Like he had a play up he had a run play left where he dodged a couple tackles, did a spin move, and almost scored a touchdown. And I think if you're an opposing defense, you are terrified of DeAndre Swift. Not only I thought he did a great job of running up the middle today, and but even more so, like he's still dangerous in the passing game. He didn't have a great day in the passing game today, but I think I think opposing defenses are going to be pretty scared of this Lions offense.
Yeah. Swift out there was money, and there was a moment, and for I think everyone listening has probably watched the Hard Knocks, but the question about Deuce and how hard he was riding Swift, and Swift really looking hurt, like it cut him deep. They had a quick shot in the sideline today with Deuce to Swift. Tell him how damn he was like, yup, that looked real good. He was super happy about what he did, and Swift was lit up, right? He was just super. And I throw back to that quote, or the line when Deuce was cutting on him and saying, you got to go back to, you got to cut it back to the inside. You got to get between the tackles. And, Swift is taking some crap about that, probably righteously, rightfully so. And he did it today, and boy, did it work. Was Deuce right? I mean, you got to talk about a player who has all the data now to trust his coach. He gashed that team. He looked awesome.
100%. Yeah, like that's the thing. You can coach hard, but you have to be right, and it has to show up immediately. And it would be very difficult for anybody to say that isn't what we saw today. Like Swift got 2 yards from the offensive line and then took it for 30. You know what I mean? Like just get past like the guys who are trying to tackle you after you get those first 2 yards are a lot lighter and a lot smaller than the guys who are trying to tackle you before you get them. You know what I mean? Like one of those big guys up front gets a hold of you, you're done. Linebacker gets a hold of you, maybe you can spin off that. Safety gets a hold of you, just throw him on the ground and keep going, man.
Run right over him. That was great.
I think
Go ahead.
I think the Lions are going to have some games this year, I think, where they mow down a couple of opponents. There's going to be a couple of opponents that they beat by 20 points, I think. I think this is a team that is capable of scoring over 30 points consistently, and they're going to have a couple of games, I think, where they put it all together on defense, and maybe they'll get a takeaway or two, and they maul some teams. So I'm still picking 8 wins for this team, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid every day.
I love it, man. I love it.
Sip, sip, brother. Sip, sip.
Yes. Don't overdo
all right,
it.
man. You take care.
All right, brother. Be good. Thanks. Thanks for the call, man. All right, that's cool.
Also, I have to point out we did miss a super chat. Loretto paid $2 to point out that I said the tip.
Yeah, I had this one ready
These nuts.
when you said that, but we went on to something else. So let's see. Here we go. Caller, if you could turn down the audio in the background. I see that it's Scott. How much have you had to drink, Scott?
I can't drink because I'm a Lions fan. I don't want to become an alcoholic.
I got you,
brother.
bro.
That's the Coke Zero on my end.
So what I'm calling about is I've been a Lions fan for a long time, and I absolutely love today's game. I see a great improvement. But I go on Twitter, and it seems like everybody and their uncle is mad as hell about this game. We're supposed to get blown out, and we only lost by 3 points. It's the defense played really good. Hutch was putting pressure on the quarterback almost every play. He didn't get any sacks, but it's a mobile quarterback. Like, he's not a bust. Like, the Twitter's like he's a bust. And I'm like, what? He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's no intelligence filter on social media. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I can't. The one thing I've learned quick in doing this is to not just completely discard other people's opinions, but don't take them too seriously. I really can't get worked up by people. Even like every now and then I'll get on a little back and forth with somebody on Twitter, and it just I laugh every time, and it always winds up being a schoolyard 3rd grade. No, you have a blue nose or some stupid shit. Like it's always just dumb. But I just like to see how far people go sometimes and how far I can take them.
I'm very encouraged with the team.
I am too.
I'm very encouraged.
I am too.
This me, everybody and their uncle thought we were going to get blown out. This went right down the wire. I mean, how can you not be happy with this team after last season?
Yeah, I'm really excited
This gets me
to talk to Riz about it because he thought this was going to be an absolute blowout.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Lions covered the spread on this one, and the spread was ludicrously small.
Yeah,
given all the scuttlebutt about both teams. Like, and
was it 4 points?
Would have been pounding Eagles all day at 3.5 points. Like, just free money is what I would have called Eagles at 3.5 points. And I ended up being wrong. You know,
I bet the money line and I lost. I was hoping for that win. So
I'm very encouraged. I did pro line in Canada. 8 games, and I think I lost on like at least 6 of them so far.
Well, may the degenerate gods be with you.
There's a reason the rich people in Vegas aren't the customers. That's all I'll say. They know what they're doing, man.
Hey, hey, thanks a lot for taking my call. Go Lions! Go Lions!
Thanks for calling.
Thanks,
brother.
Scott. Appreciate it, man. That's awesome. All right.
I did say scuttlebutt, Magnus.
Scuttlebutt
English
Magnus.
English degree.
Wow. Well, I don't think Scuttlebutt Magnus is our caller's name. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink?
Hey, what's happening? It's Lamont from Jersey, Golf's biggest fan.
How you doing, man? It's been a little bit.
I'm good. How you guys doing?
I'm watching the Minnesota Vikings kind of surgically excising the soul of the Packers right now. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know if A-Rod going to own the division, and Christian Watson, the rap coming out of him was that he drops the ball and he dropped a wide open touchdown. So hopefully that won't signify his whole career, but he dropped a touchdown. Wonder if A-Rod goes back to him. But getting back to the game, 2 things. Goff played a good game, not great, not bad, just, a good game. The drops, first game of the season, I'm going to attribute it to that. I'm not paying T.J. Hawkinson. He can't block, and he doesn't seem to be a difference maker out there. I know it's still early, but if I had to bet, I wouldn't pay him top tight end money off of what I see from him. His injury history, and he just hasn't made that big of a difference. And Levi and Pascal, they're missed. We need those guys on the D-line. Like, I know Philly is different because they're run heavy, but we're going to need those guys. Levi, I'm not sure. The rookie, hopefully we can see him and he can help make a difference because Hutch is there. Hutch is going to be special. He is there. He is just missing. He is going to be special. So, in the secondary, I think our secondary played well. Okuda shut down Devontae Smith, which is impressive, even though that might go to the quarterback being a one-read quarterback right now and not being able to go to a second read, but Okuda played well. So I'm encouraged. Washington won, so they're feeling themselves, so it should be a good game next week.
Yeah, I agree. Your Goff fandom, I have to tell you, leading into this season, I mean, I would have said there's a lot of egg on your face after the first half of the game today, right? But what we saw,
was a tough watch, man.
Yeah, because everything I saw in training camp, and then what I heard from the guys that were there after, and I just saw a guy who, with these weapons this year, was the guy. Goff was the guy.
He just needed more live reps. Like, not playing him in the I don't know how you could look at what just happened today and not say that only playing him for like 12 snaps in the preseason wasn't a terrible idea. Like, these are the snaps that give your quarterback an opportunity to just kind of see, okay, live fire, how are things going to actually go? Because even in a scrimmage, they can't hit you. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, the season's over if he gets hurt, so you want to be a little bit careful. But like, it took them 20 snaps to get where this was an offense.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I'm kind of okay with them not playing in preseason, though. The risk of injury is just too high. I understand, like, the reps help, but I'm good with it. So hopefully this knocked the rust off. I don't know what the wide receivers were doing, dropping all those passes, but Goff is going to be fun. He is going to be a really good quarterback this year. I do want to see more play action, especially with Swift running the way he does. I want to see more play action.
Yeah. And I think Swift's success today and Williams' success today is going to help us deliver A lot of play action. Next week, I think, is going to be a really fun game to watch because the only film anyone has on this offense is this week. And knowing the Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell minds, that's not what they're going to see next week. I just know that it's not what they're going to see next week. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun because the Commodes really are a team in a bad way. So we have a real shot here against them. And well, I think we're going to win, but I think we have a real shot to have a hell of a good game and a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I think next week I don't know if we'll be favored, but it should be a good win.
Yeah.
And those no look passes don't look so good when they 10 yards over the wide receiver head.
Yep.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna let you go, my man. We got the phones are still burning up, and we got to keep going. But thank you, sir, for calling. Don't stop because it's gonna be a fun year to talk about golf this year and see where we end up with.
Yes, indeed. Have a good day, sir.
All right, you too, man. We'll see you. All right.
Yeah, on his last point there, like there is no coach in the world that coaches no-look passes.
Yeah.
Confusing results with good process is a mistake a lot of people make in a lot of different fields.
Yep.
And that's what I'd say about a lot of the things that just didn't work out today.
DCP1, what did Goff do that was bad besides the pick? Well, the pick was the worst, right? But the first half he was 3 for 9 with 3 for 9 with 6 yards, I believe it was, something like that. It was the first half he was just missing people like freaking
There were
crazy.
a couple drops in the first half too.
Yep.
And they tended to be the ones where he did hit a guy a little bit farther downfield. But yeah, that first half was the worst half of football I have ever watched a quarterback play. Of course, I wasn't watching Joe Burrow today, who had 3 picks in the first half.
Yeah.
Which, if you're going to judge an entire season on one half of football, I got nothing to say to you.
Well, the Bengals aren't making it back. All right, we got a caller. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink? Say hi to the kids for me.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Brandon Kerr from Midland, Michigan, and I am watching my 6-month-old and 2.5-year-old, so not enough to drink.
I got you, man. I got you. How's it going out there?
It's going, brother. So check this out. I'm actually not that down on what Goff did in the first half. I know everyone's like, you guys can say he had terrible stats, and of course he did. The stats sucked. But at the same time, I don't think it was all his fault. He only missed a couple throws. But if you look like Shark, he blew a hot read. I'll say it was probably his fault on the Hawkinson play where he ended up throwing the interception, which was lucky. He got it on a tip. I really don't think he was that bad. He only wasn't really missing his receivers by that much. So, and he came back in the second half. I think it was pretty encouraging, the whole damn thing. The defense was a little scary as far as like everyone's fears with the RPO. Oh yeah, they suck at that. But that's hard. Your guys go full throttle and they miss them. How many times were they like so close and you just couldn't get that extra hand on them? They were just a foot away from sacking them. So I don't know. I'm not that encouraged. I'm actually pretty pumped. I thought that was a hell of a game the way it came out.
I'll go with it. I'll allow it.
Yeah, and honestly, on the pick 6, Hawkinson made the right read. You know what I mean? Like that was 100% on Jared Goff. If Hawkinson goes that way, he has a concussion and he's out for the rest of the season because that corner decleats him when he tries to catch that ball. Like there's no way that what Hawkinson did was wrong and where Jared Goff threw the ball was right.
But if Goff didn't throw that ball right then and there, he was going to get a concussion. He was about to get smoked.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like even on the sideline, you saw Hawkinson go up to MCDC and he was speaking something and basically the head coach confirmed that Hawkinson was right. You could lip read there. He was like, "Yeah, I know."
Well,
like that is what he said. It was very clear that right after that play, Hawkinson's like, "Man, what do you want me to do? Like, should I just go die? Like out on the shield like a Spartan?"
Right.
No.
I think it was one of those deals, though. If they would have had another step or two from that defense that was about to sack Goff, I think Goff probably would have made the right read, but it was just bang, bang, right? He's making the move right at the same time Goff's about to get sacked. That's a pretty lose-lose situation for Goff.
100%.
So, I mean,
and every
so
quarterback makes mistakes in
I'm not too
situations
upset
like
about
that.
it.
That's how you beat Brady, is by getting pressure
Yeah,
on him
no
quick.
one wants
You
to
know,
get
like
his grill
there's
knocked out.
Well, we know how good Brady is. I mean, come on. All you gotta do is get pressure on him quick, and he folds. Yeah, no, it's one measure. I was frustrated with Goff through the first half of the game, and I wasn't seeing any kind of adjustment. It was just a lot of the same. It felt very 3-and-out, 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 miss. A couple runs, right, and that was all great. But I was kind of really bummed for what I was looking at for a season. I mean, that's where my head was going. I was falling into that Lions fan confirmation bias place, but what they did in the second half, man, I mean, I think it's as good for them as it is for the fans, how that game wound up turning out, and that they were actually in it at the end like that.
I understand how you feel that way, but I was more upset with the receivers. I just didn't think they were doing enough.
No, they were dropping like crazy.
Amon-Ra dropped, Chark dropped, Jamal dropped. It was like, oh my God, you guys are just hanging poor Goff out here to dry. I mean, look, we know he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to carry the team, but man, you can't just you just can't take the wind out of the sails like that. And you can see he was just sitting there, just looking at it like, damn.
Well, one thing I know is that Rodrigo, we got to get some Rodrigo jerseys out there. We got to make that the number one selling Lions jersey. And how do you do that? Go to fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com. Get yourself some jerseys. They give us a couple pennies out of that sale. Fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com. Get your Rodrigo jersey, or even get Quadrigo, and show off them gams on the way. Fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com. Hey, thanks, caller, for letting me use you for that. you were fully abused.
Glad I could be of service.
Such a corporate shill.
Next time I call, I'll make sure I do the plug for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. All right, brother. We're going to get rolling. We're going to keep going.
Fanatics, everybody. Cool, brother. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Bye. See you later.
All right. Kids saying bye and everything. What a good go.
Yep.
Goff was a little too locked in the first, not seeing people running open. Sometimes I wonder if he sees the whole field. It's definitely easy when we're watching it on TV, for sure.
Yep.
And that's the one thing, like, a lot of times they'll bring the camera down to field level, and you hear just unanimously people screaming, "This sucks! I can't see what's going on!" Right? It's like that's what the players are seeing. Right? It's a whole
literally the only reason we don't get Madden Cam for every game is because fans lost their mind because they couldn't tell what was going on. So when we're beaking off about these quarterbacks sucking, yada yada yada, just keep that in mind. That we even had a top 3/4 high view.
Yeah.
And people just couldn't deal with having the camera move across the screen and pan and scan, and we need to get over ourselves. It was one half of bad football.
As
has been pointed out, there were drops. So if those two drops don't go, he's probably 5 for 9 for 98 yards at halftime.
Yep.
Just based on where they happened and what was going on, because man, that Chark one was going a long way. And same with the Josh Reynolds one at the end. Was it a perfect throw? No, but an NFL receiver makes that catch and scores. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the job.
Yep.
Is to catch the slightly imperfect ball and to keep running into the end zone and to win the game.
Yep.
But it is what it is.
I'll say this: the Packers are a fraud because Aaron Rodgers isn't carrying the team anymore. 2 minutes to go, 10-0. The Vikings are winning right now. Let's see. Lions gear link in the details is dead. Oh, God. Okay, thanks. I'll fix that. Just go to fanatics.detroitlionspodcast.com. Caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink?
Trip from the most intelligent Slack channel on planet Earth. And I am absolutely obliterating tequila. Chris, how about you?
Oh my God, I'm working on. I'm just crushing some Bud Lights here. I'm keeping it light. I gotta drive. No, I'm just joking. I don't drive and drink. I've got to cook dinner and clean everything up because get ready for my wife to come home from dropping my son off. So I got to keep somewhat.
A lot easier to clean with a few more drinks than you, Chris.
That may be the case. I may have to go to the tequila. What kind of tequila are we drinking?
The important question.
Great question. I could get the name for you. Walk over to the bar, shall we? Single Estate Tequila Ocho. Never heard of it, but here we are.
Is it good?
I think It's actually very good. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm appreciating it. My buddy brought it over for the game.
Nice.
And he left in the early fourth quarter because that's what non-real fans do. They give up early. So,
yep.
It is what it is. I think an important message that no one has really touched on, at least in depth in Lions land, is really outside of that one play, Jeff Okudah looked really good today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The less you hear that man's name, the better he is playing.
Yes. I was really, honestly, beyond anything else, I was just happy to see he had that one play where he kind of got spun around a bit, but I'd love to get your guys' opinion. Big fan of the show, obviously in the Slack channel, things like that. But I just thought overall, Jeff Okudah really could not have asked for a better start to the season for him.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the things. I mean, he was on Devontae Smith most of the day, who had all of 0 catches. He was their first round pick last year, right?
Yes.
So he's supposed to be a pretty good wide receiver, I hear.
He's got some skills.
Okay. Yeah, no, not like you said, Ash. Not hearing his name was great. I was so happy with Okudah's performance today.
If he gives up 16 catches, he's an all-pro corner. Like just straight up. There is no debate. You know what I mean? And I'm not expecting that for an entire season, but like the expectations that people put on this kid because of where he was drafted were just insane. Yeah. And like I know I was alone, but I was never on that. Like I never saw what put him on that pedestal. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, like he's a good corner prospect, and this isn't a great draft, but like, what are we thinking here? You know? But like he played exceptionally well today, because that Devontae Smith, that's a tough draw. Even as a rookie, that guy was one of the 3 rookies who had better seasons than Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know what I mean? And like we all know how good of a season that guy had, and how he closed it out. You know what I mean? And like, there were 3 guys who maybe deserved to be drafted higher than him, and Okudah shut one of those guys down today.
Yeah.
So I got no complaints.
Yep. Really quick, I haven't heard, go ahead. Really quick, I haven't heard you guys talk about the miscommunication. Most of Goff's bad throws were places he expected receivers to be. Someone was on the wrong page of the playbook. Dreamweaver, I want to give you credit because that's so right. I mean, that's
cough, more reps, cough.
Yeah. It's such a great point. It's gonna be better next week. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
All the bad things are fixable.
Well,
like there was no, the talent disparity was not the issue today, as it was so many times last year, where you're just like, they threw everything and the kitchen sink out there and just couldn't do it. You know, they were like just such a sad sack team sometimes last year, where you're like, you can't ask the coaches to do more. You can't ask the players to do more than they did today. Like, this is what they have.
Yeah.
You know, whereas today you're looking at it and you're looking at all of the lost opportunities. Those 4, like there were 15 to 20 snaps where they could have made those 4 plays that would have made this game a victory. You know what I mean? It's not just, there are not only 4 plays where who knows what could happen. It's a 50-50 thing every time. There are probably 20 snaps where somebody did something stupid and that's why they lost today. And that is infinitely fixable and comes with experience. And I'm not super concerned about the entire season based on one loss to a team that was a playoff team last year and won a game against us by over 30 points.
Ooh, there you go.
I'll hang up and listen. I appreciate you guys taking my call. Chris, you're the man. Ash, I think you said it in the Slack, and it was a great point. Goff, he looked like a guy who needed a little bit of run in preseason, but with that being said, him and Chark, I think it's going to be a very real connection. I think you saw glimpses of it, but there was some rust involved because really there's been no game action between the two. I think you get the right amount of game action. That, too, is going to be a deadly pair. Looking forward to the season. Chris, you kind of touched on it. I think with the more talent added, this team, they look like a team with the right amount of talent. They're going to go places. So we're a year or 2 away, Chris. You've harped on that for a long time. But looking forward to it, and I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that Goff Chark connection should be going just in time for Jameson Williams to come in and start dropping balls.
Yeah. It's going to be nuts.
That's the pessimistic part of my brain. I try not to let flex too often. But yeah, I mean, like even Josh Reynolds today dropped one. You know what I mean? And that is his safety blanket.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like there is no player on this team he trusts more than that guy. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped 2 balls today. They had a pretty sweet connection going at the end of last season. You know, like it is just an overall whatever they needed to do to get ready for the first half, they did not do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I love our coaching staff to death. This is my favorite coaching staff we have ever had by a million miles.
sport.
And it's not just because of Hard Knocks. It's literally everything about this staff. Like, I wrote an article about Dan Campbell a few days before they interviewed him, going like, this would be a really cool guy that maybe we could pick up as a head coach. You know, like, it's super interesting that I've heard they're considering talking to this dude. He's everything Patricia said he was.
He
So,
actually is what Patricia
like,
said. Patricia,
you know, like, he actually is that guy. And maybe that, like, the concept was good. We just didn't get the execution on the last set of guys, and we don't really need to do a complete 180-degree turn because what they said was right.
Yep.
And then just what they did was garbage.
Yep.
And we're getting the complete opposite on that. And that is another reason that I have absolutely no doubt that all of those little mistakes we saw today are going to disappear, and quickly.
Yep. All right. Can you talk about the team flags? Do you think it was too many flags, somewhere near the average for the first week? I'm going to say, and we'll talk about one in particular because Ash and I have differing opinions on it. I think the flags
Logan Stenberg did not take the job today, I guess. I'll say that one. Like, the running game died on the right side, and that's just facts. Like, that's why they were running Jamal Williams on the right side and DeAndre Swift on the left for the whole game.
Yeah.
And you see the difference between almost 10 yards of carry and 2.5. You know what I mean? Like, there was nowhere for Williams to go. That wasn't on him.
Yep. All right, hold on really quick. Caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink? Caller?
Yeah, hi, this is Todd.
Hey, Todd.
I had a couple cocktails at this point.
Oh, good. Anything? What kind of cocktails? Anything delicious and gonna make me?
Well, it's actually been a couple different ones. We had
Oh,
a couple beers early on, Chris, and we moved into a couple stronger cocktails because it's pretty stressful, as you know.
I've heard as I hold up my bottle of Jägermeister.
But yeah, I wanted to pop. I wanted to pop on. I want to say first off, good for the team for fighting. Jared looked terrible at the beginning, but he did a good job. He fought back. And obviously the run game is what we want to see. Stenberg came up there. He played pretty well. What I want to ask you guys, though, question-wise, it's actually a little bit different than just the game of quarterback-wise. We talk a lot about if Jared Goff isn't the guy, then we want to get a high draft pick. But do you really think actually a high draft pick quarterback-wise is really what we want? No. Because if you look at it, all the best quarterbacks in the league right now, they weren't high draft picks. I mean, some of them were, but a lot of them necessarily weren't. So I think the best point for our team is to fight and just win games. And then you figure out who you're going to get when you get a quarterback later on.
Always.
I'll tell you, this is where I'm at. I think taking a quarterback in the draft this year or last year would have been a bad move. I just think it would have been, even if you got your guy, the capital you spent is going to delay you at least another year in your rebuild. It's just the way it's going to be. Now, people also say, well, you got wait till you're ready and get your quarterback. Well, I'm not. I just right now where the Lions team is, I'm at the if your guy shows up, you get him now.
That's where you should always be. That is where you should always be.
I don't know.
2
2 years
ago,
ago,
take that guy.
But 2 years ago,
there has to be a guy, and there isn't always a guy.
Well, and
there's never the guy. You look at the best quarterbacks in the league right now. All of them are drafted in the late first or second, third rounds. Like, these guys aren't. It's never it's just not a sure thing. So the sure thing isn't out there.
There's a couple of things.
Why not go fight and win and try to win games?
There's a couple of things, and people get caught up in the idea of, well, every year there's the guy. The guy is there, and you're right. There's most of the quarterbacks go in the late rounds, but everyone keeps saying, "Oh yeah, they got to get the guy." Trevor Lawrence was the guy. Well, the Jags got the guy, and this is where they are. Is he going to be what great? He very well could be, but we don't know, and you will have to see. The Jags have a whole lot of work to do before they can kind of prop up and see what they really have in him. But the idea is people like focus in on just the 1 year and say the best quarterback there is now the guy. He has to be the guy. And people don't think of it on the continuum of multiple seasons and careers.
Yeah.
You've got the guy right now in Goff. He's, I'll just say he's number 15 in the league. He's dead nuts in the middle of quarterbacks in the league. Okay, cool. How are you going to improve on that? Because that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're going backwards, right? The Matt Patricia school would have you draft somebody who's
too big of a sense about the quarterback.
Yeah. You find your guy.
I think they fight it from the lines out, and I think they're on the right track. That's what I wanted to say. I like the way that the line looked. I like the way the running game looked, and I think the if anyone's thinking we should lose games to try to get a quarterback, I think they're out of their mind. That's all.
The other side of it is I don't know that you draft your quarterback to get your quarterback, because that is one hell of a lottery. You know what I mean? And you're look, the Rams got their quarterback out of a trade, right? You see a lot of teams move. You saw Russ Wilson move on a trade. There's opportunities. I think the opportunities are going to continue in the NFL. I mean, I'm not going to go into
the hit rate on trading multiple first-round picks for a starting quarterback is significantly higher than drafting them.
Yeah, yeah. And the value. I mean,
Carson Wentz is the only miss I've seen on that one. You know what I mean?
People talk about the value chart and all that, but what's the value of having a great quarterback for his career? If I give away 3 first-round picks, it's going to take me that many to draft one that might be that good, right? Yep. Or maybe I get a better one, maybe, right? There's a lot more certainty, though, in that, and you can get from a value perspective and a hit percentage, right? You can do a heck of a lot better doing something like that. I mean, look at the Bears with Biscuit, right? They passed on Mahomes to draft Biscuit. Now, we all laughed, right? Because we knew what was up at the time, but didn't know that Mahomes was going to be that good. But
it's like, yeah, you don't have to throw to half the field. It's not necessary. With that said, they won today and played pretty well.
How many intentional groundings did he miss on Jalen Hurts today? There had to be at least 2 intentional groundings they missed on him.
One for sure that I saw. I think
the first 2 were not intentional groundings.
That double-handed chest pass. There's no way that got by the line of scrimmage. The other one, he threw it straight into the ground.
Yeah, but the running back was right there making a block, which technically, it's by spirit of the law, 3 intentional grounding calls. By the letter of the law,
I feel
none.
like spirit of the law should say that's not. Isn't he trying to actually ground the ball?
Yeah.
No, but if the guy's right there, it doesn't matter. You can spike it if there's a running back right beside you.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I know, but it's frustrating in the lot.
Yeah,
Nothing
it sucks.
more frustrating than playing that scrambly quarterback. Man, he's frustrating.
Here's the thing.
Because there's no way he knew that running back was there, and that's why he threw it in the dirt. That's no.
Here's how you fix that, though. In my mind, the quarterback, once he's out of the pocket, outside the tackles, he's a runner. End of story. The special protection rules are gone.
Yeah.
That's the way. That's how you fix that.
Yeah. Exactly. Fix it. Agreed.
I'm with you. All right, brother. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys.
Lamar Jackson.
You guys have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks for calling,
We'll get him next week.
Yeah, you bet we will.
Yeah, honestly, Lamar Jackson might be available next year. Yeah. There is also a real possibility that if Joe Burrow plays chicken with the Bengals, they end up having to do something there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in terms of will there be more guys available going forward if Goff isn't the dude? And I mean, when we are talking about whether or not Goff is the dude, let's remember that if he does what he did today for the rest of this entire season, that is about 3,500 yards with 34 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, which the picks are not great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't love that pick number, but that's a pretty mid-tier overall season, to be honest. It's not awesome, but it's not the worst thing that could happen this year.
Dave Griffiths, drafting a quarterback to replace Goff is like that episode of Family Guy where Peter has the choice between the boat or the mystery box, and he takes the mystery box because it could be a boat.
Yep.
That's exactly.
And most of the time you're excited about what's in the box when what you should really be doing is what Brad Pitt did at the end of 7 when he was questioning what was in the box.
Yeah. Yep. That's where,
Deep cut film reference. Probably most of our people haven't even seen that movie, but you should. It was really good.
Oh, man. All right. I got to tell you guys about Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Anytime you're going to go to Amazon to pick up your good stuff, head to Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Help support the show. Takes a little bit of money out of the Bezos man's pocket and puts it in ours. We'll launch our own rockets. We'll make them better, faster, and higher. Although that's a CBD commercial. Anyway, go to
CBD.DetroitLionsPodcast.com.
Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Anytime you go over to Amazon, thank you for helping support the show. All right. Oh, what's in the box? Thank you, Dave Griffiths, with one of my favorite references. I haven't watched 7 in a long time. I've got to go check that out. All right.
That was my favorite movie at one point.
I want to go back to the flags question, and the flags in particular is on Tracy Walker. The one that it just rough on the kicker. Tracy Walker, this doesn't happen to anybody else. This has never happened in the league that I can remember in all the games that I've watched. Tracy Walker's hit, again, born of frustration, a little bit of lack of discipline, hitting quarterback the way he did in the slide. I'm very much, if they're going to run and scramble, they're a runner. I just talked about that, but the idea is, that's not the rules. So he did absolutely have that call was absolutely real. So then he gets up and he tries to walk away. He gets grabbed and turned around by Goddard. He tries to walk away from him. He gets grabbed by Pascal, and he swings his arm to knock the hand off him and gets away and turns around and leaves. He's literally, all he's trying to do is get out of there, and they throw a flag for another personal foul. And that flag, I'm like, okay, if you're going to throw it on him, you got to throw it on Goddard, and you have to throw it on Pascal too, and they didn't. And that to me is the part where, number one, where that's bullshit, because they were the instigators on that, two of them, and you can't. I recognize the second guy's in, but at that point, Pascal's the third guy in, and he gets a flag, right? I mean, that's just has to be the way it is. He's trying to get away. And so they throw it to him, and then they say, well, there's two. At their discretion, they can throw the guy out. Well, it's about the weakest, ticky-tackiest second fucking flag in the world. And then to use the discretion to pull out Tracy Walker there was just shit. You will never see that happen to another team. If you can find identical circumstances, which you won't, you'll never see that happen again in the fucking NFL. It's just infuriating to me. That's the part that bothers the shit out of me, because that's garbage time. There's a number of things with the officials that were like whatever, but that one really, really pissed me off. Now, Ash, I know you're throw him out of the game. Go ahead. Get the pitchforks and torches coming from Detroit.
Like, he hit a sliding quarterback with his helmet. Like, that's...
No, for sure. I'm with you 100% there.
If the NFL had a targeting ejection rule, that would be the thing that would immediately get a guy kicked out. Now, they don't.
Not the rule.
But grabbing a guy is not the same thing as swinging at a guy, which is how the ref interpreted that. So from their perspective, you have on one play a guy leading with the helmet on a sliding quarterback and then immediately taking a swing at another player. That guy's gone. If you have discretion to throw that guy out of the game, that is like step by step. If you were to write an instruction manual on how to get tossed from an NFL game, that's it. So on the second one, let him grab you.
Yeah.
Like, be an adult. Be the adult in the room and don't let your team down like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's I have absolutely no doubt gonna be the message. You know what I mean? Like, the first one, okay, heat of the moment. We all make mistakes.
Nobody grabs a 20.
Gotta not do that.
Nobody grabs a 24-year-old man like that who's in the middle of playing a sport and just has that man walk away because your testosterone is at the peak of your life. It just doesn't happen, right? And I get it. I get you need to have the discipline.
Yep.
But and then
we
even
all know
it came up.
They've coached us since we were 6 that the guy who retaliates gets called.
But then also,
you know what I mean?
Then the play after Goddard taunts. Right down, he didn't get a touchdown, but in the end zone, no call on that. It's like, if refs, if you want to get your hands on this and you want to keep control, then keep control. But don't one side. This the Okuda pass interference bullshit. That was terrible. That was fucking.
That was
ass.
a shit call.
Oh,
that
man.
was garbage.
I'm
not sitting here defending every call they made today. Because that pass interference call, like, oh, my hand tapped you. Yeah. After you had already fallen down and the ball was nowhere near you anyway. Like, in 1,000 ways, that was a bad call. That one I'm 100% on board with. You know what I mean? I'm not the guy who just defends every call the refs make. You know what I mean? But like, Tracy Walker messed up. That's why he got thrown out of the game. Are you going to put all of the times Jameson wrote that I'm wrong up there?
Well, we got Venus too. And then Dave brings a great point.
Y'all can disagree with me, but you're being homers. That's I'm just spitting facts.
Aaron Donald swung 2 helmets and tried to kill guys. That was
in practice.
I'm just another Ash is wrong there. Hold on, let me get in there.
I think there's about 6 of them from him. Make sure they all get up there. I want him to get his due.
Oh man, so we definitely disagree on that. I was. Again, in isolation, had the rest of the game been called pretty well, I'd have been like, okay, fine, it's bullshit, whatever. But
if those two things happened on 2 separate plays, I would agree with you that throwing him out was BS.
Yep.
But they happened at the exact same moment, so you basically have someone acting like a psychopath. You need to get that person out of the game for player safety.
But by the same token, one of those was declined, so it didn't happen.
They can only take one.
Well, that's the rules. Still, if you can only take one, you can only.
The rules say two called.
Right.
The other team for field position reasons can decline them. They still happen.
Somebody go look at the book and do the lawyer read on it. I wonder if it says 2 called or they get 2 penalties.
They said 2 called on the thing.
Well, on the TV, but those guys are high.
Yeah, but the guys in the truck are usually pretty good, and the announcers don't know that rule.
That's true. That's very true.
There's no way that wasn't Dean Blandino feeding that from the truck.
I made the
somewhere,
mistake of thinking I was relying on those guys. They didn't have help. That's right. Oh man. Yeah. I saw. Oh God, who was it? Sorry, I don't have it here. Boom, 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 boom. Here it is. Ryan, I'm waiting for a crazed Lions fan to lose their mind, run on the field, and right hook the refs one day. That would just be, for some reason, so Detroit. You know what I mean? It would just be add to the full comedy factor of what's gone on in Silverdome and Ford Field the last couple of decades. It'd be great. You got to get respect for the refs somehow, right? Yeah, Don, I agree with Ash. Got to get past the idea of getting jobbed by the refs. Got to overcome them. Yeah, we almost did. We almost did today. So I think there's a lot of hope for this Lions team. I think they brought a lot to this game and showed up pretty well. They started slow for sure. Yep. I hadn't really thought about the number of reps they didn't get in the preseason, and that makes great sense, Ash, as to one reason why they would start so slow. And it's one of the reasons we talk about why week 1 is fool's gold, right? There's
100%.
so much that goes on this week that you just can't really put too much credence to it, too much weight to it, because teams are really, this is the first practice game or the first real scrimmage with the number 1s that they're getting.
Yeah. Like, what do we know about the Detroit Lions right now? Absolutely nothing.
We know they got heart. We know they got heart. And grit.
We already knew that.
True.
Like, that was never in doubt. We saw that all last year, and a bunch of those guys are back, and the other guys who came in all showed it during the preseason and on Hard Knocks. And like, we know what this is. Like, this is not an easy W for anybody. Even if the score does end up being extremely lopsided, it's not like they got to take the fourth quarter off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this team down 20 points in the fourth quarter with a minute and a half to go is still going to be punching you in the face, even though they can't win.
Yep.
And that is the personality of this team. And regardless of what the record ends up being, man, I'll take that all day, every day. Like, just to actually be able to respect this team after having lived through 2008 as an example, and the countless other seasons where they just quit halfway through the year because they knew nothing good was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if this is a 3-win season because Goff goes down, you know what I mean? Like, the rest of this team will still be worth watching on a 100%. Week-by-week basis.
100%. All right. Hey, caller, what's your name and how many have you had to drink? I just had some Jaeger, just so you know.
My name is Miguel, and I actually have just had Gatorade and water today.
Well, good for you.
Kind of a lame Sunday.
No, that's okay. You get your Gatorade. I didn't realize this, and this is the dumbest thing probably ever. Everyone knew this probably but me. But that doing my son's college tour and all that Gatorade was actually invented at the University of Florida, and it's all a reference to the Gators. I had no idea.
That is the reason for the name.
I was like, I feel both so dumb and blown away at the same time. Like, how did I not know this?
Right.
Hence why I didn't go to the university. Anyway, how you doing, bro? What's going on, Miguel?
It's going pretty good. Disappointed we lost, but great game. And glad that the refs actually called a delay a game twice. Not just that first time.
Oh my God, you're right. I'd completely forgotten about that. Well, and it actually was. It was a little bit of a difference.
Quarterback too, and right. So that was nice to see. But what I really wanted to hear you guys talk about is Aiden Hutchinson, and I know that he didn't get any sacks, or I don't even know if he got a tackle today, but just seeing him, be aggressive and block holes to, make plays for other guys. Do you think that his game today would kind of keep him, first week, but, put him in for defensive rookie of the year, or do you think he really needs to step up his game more, throughout the season?
Interesting. Just like sales, I think. Like, you can put all the work in, but if you're not a closer, you're not the guy who gets the money.
Right?
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison.
Because he was all over the place. he was playing like his hair was on fire pretty much all day. And like the few mistakes that I did see in what he did today were the result of playing like his hair was on fire. So I don't even know how much I would be trying to limit that as a rookie, because you'd always rather have that guy who's too excited. You know what I mean? Like there were a couple plays where when they had Harris and him on the same side, his inside rush was a little too kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why there was a giant hole for Hurts to just scoot out the side and pop through. You know what I mean?
He wanted that sack
Like,
today so bad. You know what I mean? And I think that, I mean, think about it. It's his hometown team.
Yeah.
He's playing for his first game as a pro. He wanted that so bad, so bad.
And you want him to.
Yeah.
Like, I have no
Well, and I
problem
think
with what he
anybody
did
besides
Go ahead, Miguel.
yeah, and I think anybody besides Jalen Hurts, you know, he was going to get to him for sure. It was just that guy had way too quick of a first step getting out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a problem from
and
maybe,
I don't think
maybe
that
4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league.
right. Well, and still talking about rookies, I don't think Jameson Williams would have dropped any of those passes. So if we can play like we played today when he gets in, then you know, let's go Lions.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I can't argue,
it's
bro.
one more guy who might be the guy who makes the play. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love with what they've done with the receiver group is there is an virtually endless supply of guys who can make a play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunate that the guy who almost always does make the play missed a couple today, but he was still the team's leading wide receiver
and
by a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw in the chat, they said 33% target share on the day for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, and okay, he dropped a couple, but he also had 8 catches.
Yeah, and a touchdown. And
yeah.
And I kind of think about it. Not only do you have this whole slew of guys that can make a play, but a whole slew of guys that can make a play differently, right?
Yeah.
And that's so complimentary because if you have 2 of them on the field at once, right, and 3 of them on the field that can make a play, your options are through the roof. And then I'm going to pivot here just because Soccer Wizard 975 wants us to. Can we talk Swift? Because damn, right? You put those 3 wide receivers out there that can make a play, and DeAndre Swift, he just burns that shit up. He was awesome today. This was a Swift that I haven't seen, and that Swift, I love the Swift that was there today. I love that DeAndre Swift. Give me that DeAndre Swift every game forever.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
It's the Swift they kept telling us was there, and we're all going like, where?
Yeah.
Where? Well, here, we saw it today.
Fucking Deuce, man. Deuce Staley is the magic man. Wow. To pull that out of a Swift, because Swift had it, right? But it had to get teased out, and boy is Deuce doing magic. Oof. What do you think, Miguel? You have one guy. You have one guy in this offense to make a play. Who are you going to?
Oh, I'm going with Swift, 144 yards. You know,
there you go. Yeah,
giving him the ball all day long. So great talking with you guys. Love the show. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Miguel. Be good, man. All right. What do you say we make that the last call, Ash?
I think we've done this long enough today.
Oh, come on. I just said the last call. I didn't say we were done.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
You're not going anywhere, Ash.
Gotta hang up. Yeah, okay. We can cover some topics in addition to the calls. I'm all right with that.
Let's see. What other topics do we have to cover? We got the Amazon and we got the Fanatics.
Yep. If you are still upset about this game, you should probably take a run to cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com.
Yeah, if you're ever stressed out about being stressed out, definitely go to cbd.detroitlionspodcast.com and take care of things. You don't want to be
something chill, something 10, something. Yeah, okay.
Don't take more than one, right?
Yep.
When are they going to learn that Jamal can't catch? I don't remember Jamal ever having as much trouble as he had in the preseason and this game catching a ball. I remember Jamal having really sure hands for passes, and this was a little bit of a bum today. A bummer. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like
it's like the swear jar.
Everybody had a bad day today. You know, like in that particular way. It's unfortunate that they just all decided that this was their game to just be uncharacteristically terrible at catching a football. Like, and I don't know what, if they did something weird or if they're using different gloves than they have previously been, or like whatever the thing was, because like when this many guys have that problem all at the same time, like it's maybe they just got all the yips. You see a guy do a thing, you start getting that in your head that maybe I'm going to do that thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like one guy hits one in the water, the next guy is probably going to hit one in the water too. You know, out on the golf course, I guess.
You sit there and you say, "Don't hit towards the water. Don't hit towards the water. Don't hit towards the water," and you
that's where it's
always
going to
hit
go
it right towards
every
the water.
single time. You know, like you tell yourself, "Oh yeah, the hardest putt to hit is a 4-yard putt." Well, guess what? You're not going to hit.
Oh man, somebody said earlier we needed Pimpleton today. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the literal opposite of what we needed today.
We needed him picked up in Philly.
Well.
That's what we needed. Yeah, I mean, Devontae Smith having nothing and everything being on Brown, I mean, it tells you something. Yeah, he's a big receiver. Yeah, he's good. But they went to him because they were picking on a mismatch and that we couldn't have fixed.
And he's a better receiver at this point in their careers than Devontae Smith. That is just truth. Yep. You know what I mean? Like I forget who, but somebody is going like, we're Ash's top 5 wide receivers. Okay, maybe he's top 8.
I'll have to look this up. I didn't know that Goff and Hurts.
That's still crazy.
I didn't know that Goff and Hurts had nearly the same QB rating. It makes sense now.
Who?
Matthew Atkinson in the chat said he didn't realize Goff and Hurts had nearly the same QB rating. I wouldn't have thought that earlier. I mean, now thinking back, it's like, oh no, that does make sense. But wow, okay.
Yeah, like Hurts does his damn, like he's an okay quarterback in the air. It is the 80 yards rushing per game that destroys you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like just that in addition, like they were all talking the whole game, like the Eagles were the greatest rushing team of all time. I was like, no, they got 800 yards out of a quarterback. Like that's why they were the number 1 rushing team in the league. That's why the Ravens previously were the number 1 rushing team in the league before, like when Lamar wasn't hurt. You know what I mean? But that's where that gets you, is a hurt quarterback. That's why teams don't typically continue doing that. They try to transition to something else as soon as their quarterback is actually capable of doing anything else.
Yep.
Otherwise, you get RG3.
A lot of talk about
that's the road.
A lot of talk about Hawkinson in the chat. Don't see us paying Hawk number 1 money next year from Dale. No, you know what? Right now, if it was right now the time to sign, I don't see it either. There's a lot of season yet to happen, and if like that
16 more games.
That switch that flipped at the first half, if that stays flipped and he suddenly plays at that elite level, he's going to get elite money. That's just the way.
With that said, on the balance of all the years, I haven't seen it either. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's been a very, very good tight end.
Right.
But it's not like quarterback where if you have a very, very good quarterback, when he's the next man up, you pay him. You know what I mean? It's tight end. Yeah. The level of, and I will argue this until the day I die, that is not one of the positions where you want to be paying a top tier guy if you can avoid it, unless you have a top tier guy. And in this case, that tier is like 3 people big. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, I like Hawkinson. He's a good player. Like if you can get him for what they're paying Chark this year, sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if it's going to cost you $20 million a year, well, someone else can make that mistake. Yeah. And I suspect they will, because this isn't the group that drafted him. They have no skin in this game other than having good players. And this offense has worked with players who were significantly lesser players at that spot. Like Brock Wright looked good last year. Shane Zylstra has looked good this year. Heck, Devin Funchess looked like a reasonably decent tight end for spots in the preseason, and he's not, you know, like just straight up. If he had any job here, it was as the big bodied, basically the Quintez Cephas, but he's not that either.
2 things. Aaron Rodgers is down, I think, on the ground. Okay, he's getting up now. He stayed on the ground. They had trainers out there. He doesn't. Ooh, this is interesting. Interesting development.
I just want to thank Jameson for the balance.
I thought you'd see that. Rodgers got wrecked. Oh, here I'm going to see
that. Ash is right.
So Rodgers running around. Oh, and it's like, oh yeah, he got crushed. Good. Ball came out. Excellent. Love that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Minnesota is just putting it on. The Packers. I love to see. Oh yeah.
Well, it's a shame someone has to win that game though.
His head got snapped. That's good. I mean, no, that's not good, but
the path to a division title is an Aaron Rodgers injury. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
I never wish bad things on a person, but if something bad had to happen to somebody
to help to fix the Lions and the rest of the NFC North's chances, that would be the one. Yep. Oh man.
Did the Bears end up beating the 49ers today? Last I saw, they were up, and I haven't had time to check it yet.
I haven't seen. Yeah, if you guys in the chat know, let us know about Let's know about the 49ers and Bears game. Swift looked good. I think again, look, it's a loss. It's 0-1 to start the season for the Lions, and we expected it to be 0-1. We didn't expect it to be this close. At the end of the first half, we were like, "Yep, is this going to be another 44, to 14 or 21? Is that it? We're just going to be a little better with the points." But we made it a game in the end. It was a fun game to watch. It was good stuff. So this was really nice. This is a really nice start to the season for the Lions. And I mean, I always use that Jets game where Quandre Diggs got the pick six to start as my kind of litmus test for that first game of the season.
That was the worst day ever.
Yeah.
Because just so much hope just immediately and irreversibly dashed.
Yep. Let's see. Bears won. That's too bad.
Bears won 19-10, yeah. So they beat a team that was in the NFC Championship game, or were they the championship or no? They made it to the quarterfinals?
Something like that, yeah.
Regardless, a team that went deep into the playoffs last year just got beat by the Bears. Does that mean they're going to be the Super Bowl champion this year? Think about that when you're deciding that the season is over for the Lions right now.
Yep. Logan Stenberg at right guard. Earlier, Ash said that's where the run game goes to die. I don't think he was absolutely horrible. I think he was fine, especially as a stand-in.
For a third string guard, he was fine.
And comparatively to what he was looking like last year and prior, this is a huge step forward. A huge step forward for him. So,
like, I'm not saying cut the guy,
right?
Like for your third string guard, that's what you want. Is like he did not every single play cause a terrible thing to happen, because like that's what most third string guards in the league would do. Like I would say like a top tier third string guard performance is what we got out of Stenberg today. That just has a cap on it. It has a ceiling. And it just seemed like every time they gave Jamal Williams the ball to go behind Stenberg, that was the play. Stenberg just could not do anything.
Yeah. Well, there we go. I think we got a lot. We've got the Wednesday show coming up with Riz. We'll do that. Also, while you're here, if you don't mind, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I got to say thank you to PAFD Firestopper for your subscribing to the channel. It's free, it's quick, it's easy, and it helps us out a great deal. Just please hit that like button and help the algorithm send our beautiful faces to all the folks that look for Lion stuff. We appreciate it when you do that, and we only ask once a show. We try. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you all for doing that. Chris Dust in the Slack. Oh, hold on. I might have something this week. We'll see. What goes on there.
Oh, hey. How you doing?
The Slack. That's a great place to be. Don't forget about the Slack. The show needs your involvement. Give us some support on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. If you go in there, it's as little as $5 a month in support. You'll get access to the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet, the game day chat, the whole thing. It's a great experience. It's not just football either. We've got stuff with beer. We talk about it's cocktails. It's all kinds of booze. We got gambling. There's stock tips. There's home improvement, food. I mean, there's all kinds of channels, all kinds of conversations,
other topics,
a lot of and podcast suggestions, like topic suggestions. So we
if
take
you guys want us to talk about something on a show, that's the spot to have the most, like, you're injecting it directly into our brains.
Yeah.
By being in there.
So just head on over. Patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. Like I said, $5 a month in support gets you access to the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. Also follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast. DET Lions Podcast. It's the very best place to see us.
I wanted some fucking pants, but I didn't have pants. This is all I had in my locker. I just had this feeling of like I was going to be walking around without any pants on. Welcome to Detroit.
I didn't wear pants between July 4th and August 25th. That's all I'm saying. Not one time.
The no pants welcome to Detroit thing just always reminds me of the analingus thing from a couple years ago in the lot outside Ford Field. All right. Yeah. Twitter at DET Lions Podcast. You get all the great stuff. Lots of fun. A lot of good stuff there. Also give us a call on Skype at Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word, or call us on the Lions line at 929-33-LIONS. It's 929-335-4667. And be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to this podcast. Why would we do that, Ash?
So that you can get us in your ear holes Automagically.
Yeah. And also, if you don't, we're going to slide
these nuts
right across. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, no problems, baby, because we got
these nuts
and we're your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. Thanks, everyone.